Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. Strange things do happen in this world. I received this other voice note of a man who was recorded whilst he was having sleep paralysis. Strange things do happen in this world. I am going to play that voice note at the end of this confession. After translating his confession, we'll come back as well and I will read his confession. The message reads like this that I have for you. Hello my brother, how are you? I am a woman who is from Zim. I am staying in South Africa. Me and my husband, we are both staying here in South Africa. When we came here to South Africa, after we noticed that we were experiencing a lot of challenges in our lives, that was when we started going around looking for spiritual help. Most of our time we will spend it on TikTok whilst we were looking for anyone who could give us a prophecy or someone who was willing to assist us spiritually. I don't know, my brother, if you have ever came across those prophets. A lot of them are there on TikTok that give you spiritual guidance and help. So we used to contact a lot of those people. Most of them that we were in contact with, they were from Ghana or Nigeria, those prophets. Each and every night, me and my husband, before we could go to bed, we made sure that we would contact any of those prophets that we were now friends with so that they can give us their prophecies. It was like an everyday thing now. When I saw that this was not working out, I was the first to admit that the prophecies that we were getting on TikTok, they were not working out and we had to try something else. That was when we thought of an idea of trying some prophets that are from our own country in Zim. So my husband continued consulting with those prophets on TikTok, but I had already given up. After I had given up, my husband then told me that he had came across another prophetess. This prophetess is from Zim who could assist us since she understood our situation. I said it is fine. So my husband and that prophetess from Zim, they started communicating with each other. When they started communicating, at first I was not interested because I had already given up. But the more that they communicated, I felt as if her prophecies that she was giving to my husband, those prophecies were going to come true. This prophet who is from Zim, whom my husband had met on Facebook, said that my husband had a demon that was tormenting him, and this demon that was tormenting him, it was a demon of poverty. And this demon had been sent by one of his relatives who was there in Zim, so that us being here in South Africa, when we would return back home in Zim, we will return without anything. We will just have wasted our time looking for work here in South Africa. But the demon was going to make sure that it was going to close all the opportunities so that me and my husband, we will return back home with nothing. So I believed everything that the prophetess had told my husband. Then that prophetess said that my husband had to be assisted there in Zim, so he had to return back home in Zim. So me and my husband, the kind of life that we are living, it is like we do not have cash, so we could not go back home together. So what we had to do is that after we had found money, that was when we decided that my husband was the one who was supposed to go alone, since this demon was fighting against him. And that prophetess had said that after my husband had returned back to Zim, he was supposed to go back to the village where he grew up in, and he was supposed to take some soil from the homestead where he was born. So my husband then traveled back to Zim. When he had traveled back to Zim, he was always giving me updates and he was telling me everything that was happening whilst he was there in Zim. And when he arrived in the village, after he had taken the soil from the homestead where he was born, he showed me the sample of that soil. And when he had gone to visit that prophetess in the village where she stays, he was also giving me all all the updates. So when he arrived there, my husband said that the prophetess then took the soil that he had taken from the village, then she mixed that soil with holy water, then she gave the holy water that was mixed with the soil that my husband had taken from the village, and instructed him that he was supposed to use that holy water when he had returned back to South Africa until the holy water was finished. Then he was going to be released from the spirit of poverty. So after they had done some prayers, my husband then returned back to South Africa. When my husband returned back to South Africa, we then noticed that we were now facing a lot of challenges, more challenges than the challenges that we were facing when we were still consulting with all of these prophets. So my brother, with all of this that was happening, that was when we decided that we had enough. We had to stop using those prayers that my husband had been given by that prophetess from Zim, that were in form of holy water mixed with soil from the village where my husband was born. But that prophet said, no, do not stop using it. Continue using that holy water, because those evil spirits, they are trying to scare you so that you won't finish using the prayers. So we then listened to her advice and we continued using the prayers, but still I suspected that this thing was now making the situation to be more worse. So after we had used those prayers, on the last day after we had finished using the holy water, that was when we woke up. And when we woke up in the morning, we saw such a strange thing in our house, because when we woke up, we saw that at the corner of the house there were eggs. These eggs, they were piled up in that corner. We then took a picture, and after we had taken the picture, we then sent the picture to that prophetess who was in Zim. We didn't know where these mysterious eggs had came from, so we wanted to confirm if she knew about these eggs or if this was part of her healing. But that prophetess, after she had downloaded the picture of those eggs, she said that she does not know anything about those eggs. She refused, my brother, and we were very confused. We didn't even know where these eggs had came from. Truly speaking, we do not even know. We just woke up in the morning and we then saw that in the corner of the house there were eggs that were piled up together. So right now, my brother, that is the situation that we are facing. After we had spoken with that lady, when she refused, she said that I do not even know. That was when bad things started happening to us. She then demanded the rest of her money that we were still owing her. We were supposed to give her for the spiritual guidance that she had given to us. She said, I want all of my money all at once. After that, she then blocked us, and after she had blocked us, we were unable to communicate with her again. So that is the current situation. We can't even communicate with her, and we are scared because we do not know where these eggs came from. We don't know if these eggs are the result of the spiritual guidance that was being given to us by several prophets that we had met and contacted on TikTok, because we used to communicate with those prophets a lot, and we do not know who these eggs belong to. And that prophetess from Zim, she threatened us and she said she does not know anything. So after we had seen everything, and after that prophetess had blocked us, my husband one day, he was just walking, and when he was walking in town, then there was this other car that was just driving along the road. So the driver of that car then lost control of the vehicle. After he had lost control of the vehicle, then that car almost hit my husband. If it was not by the grace of God, that car would have hit my husband, and if it had hit my husband, he would have died instantly, because this car, after it had missed my husband, it went straight for this other shop, breaking those big glass shop doors. It only stopped when it was inside the shop. I can only imagine what would have happened if my husband had been hit by that car. So that is the current situation that we are facing, my brother.